Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is not only current, but very, very relevant. And the topic is organ donation in India. But before I will go on the main topic, I would like to inform you that today the world is celebrating World Scout Day. World Scout Day is celebrated on 22nd February every year or all over the world. India also celebrates this day with zeal and enthusiasm to celebrate the spirit of scouting in the country. There is no special theme for World Scout Day each year, but as this day is also known as World Thinking Day, it has main theme of our world, our equal future, the environment and gender equality. World Scout Day is celebrated every year on 22nd February, the birth anniversary of Scouting founder Robert Baden-Powell, first Baron Baden-Powell, born 1857, and his wife Olive Baden-Powell. Scouting programs for more than 100 years have instilled in youth the values found in the Scout Oath and Scout Law. Scouting helps youth develop academic skills, confidence, morality, and citizenship skills that impact their adult life. Media conference with Lal Goel wishes you all on this very special day. Now coming to our main topic, that is organ donation in India. We are not God, but God has given us power to save up to 8 lives and improvise 75 lives. Over 5 lakh people die every year in India. It means more than 1,500 people are dying every day. Or in other words, every minute, one person is losing life for want of organ. Organ donation in India is regulated by the Transplantation of Human Organ and Tissues Act 1994. The law allows both deceased and living donors to donate their organs. It also identifies brain death as a form of death. The National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, NOTO, functions as the apex body for activities of relating to procurement, allotment, and distribution of organs in the country. And below the NOTO, there are ROTO, that is regional, and then the SOTO, that is state. So ROTO, NOTO, ROTO, and SOTO are 3 government nominated bodies who functions for the organ donation as well as tissue donation. Although India has performed the second largest number of transplants in the world in 2019 after United States, it lags far behind the Western nations like Spain, 35.1 per million population, those who have donated. United States, 21.9 PMP per million population, and United Kingdom, 15.5 PMP in national donation, with a donation rate of in India is only 0.65 per million population in 2019 due to its huge population. According to the World Health Organization, only around 0.01% of people in India donate their organs after death. Some of the reasons behind such poor performance are lack of public awareness, religious or superstitious beliefs among people, and strict laws. In 2019, the Government of India implemented the National Organ Transplant Program with a budget of rupees 149.5 crores for promoting diseased organ donation. The states of Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh were the front runners in organ donation during the initial years. Following the establishment of the Indian Network for Organ Sharing, INOS, in 2000, the 2 states retrieved 1,033 organs and tissues between 2000 and 2009. In 2018, Tamil Nadu had an organ donation rate of 1.8 per million population, which was 7 times higher than the national average of 0.05 to 0.08. The number of diseased organ donation in India grew gradually from 2012. The total number of multi-organ diseased donors in 2012 throughout India was 196, that is 0.16 PMP. The diseased organ donation rate doubled from 196 donors in 2012 to 411, that is 0.34 PMP in 2014. Living donors are permitted to donate the following: one of their kidneys they can donate, portion of pancreas they can donate, and part of the liver they can donate. Living donors must be over 18 years of age and are limited to donating only to their immediate blood relatives. And as per the Indian guidelines of the law, the immediate blood relatives are grandparents, parents, siblings, spouse, children, and grandchildren. Or in a special case, out of love, affection, and attachment towards the recipient. But in this case, the format is like this, that once if anybody would like to donate to an unrelated person, they have to go to a committee. The committee examine that person very thoroughly, because the general thing is that people wants to give the kidney or other part of liver for just against the taking the money. So that's why the government has appointed a committee, and that committee examine whether it's a really out of love and affection or with a consideration of money. Deceased donors may donate 6 life-saving organs. That is kidneys. We have 2 kidneys, liver 1, 1 heart, 2 lungs, and pancreas and intestines. Uterus transplant is also performed, but it is not regarded as a life-saving organ. Organ and tissues from a person declared legally dead can be donated after consent from the family has been obtained. Brain stem death is also recognized as a form of death in India, as in many other countries. After a natural cardiac death, tissues that can be donated, because after a natural death, organs cannot be donated, only tissues can be donated, which are generally cornea, bone, skin, and blood vessels. Whereas after the brain stem death, about 37 different organs and tissues can be donated, including the 6 life-saving organs. As of 2019, 13 of the 36 states and union territories, now it is 37, because 28 and 9, 37 states and union territories have contributed to disease donation in India. Most of the disease donation programs have been developed in the southern states. The potential for diseased organ donation due to brain death is high in the country. About 1.65 lakhs persons die due to road accidents every year, and an estimated about 1 lakh of such deaths are due to brain death. If the country's donation rate were to be improved, 1 per million population, it would satisfy the country's organ requirement completely. And one can imagine, if those 1 lakh who are dying due to the road accidents, brain death, declared brain death, if their organs and tissues are taken, so 8 lakhs organs will be available. So one can imagine 5 lakhs plus are dying every year. We can save each and every life in the country. The disease donation rate consistently rose from 2012 to 2017, increasing more than 4 times. But since 2018, it has slowed throughout the country. A large majority of organ donation in India are from live donors. The brain death donations represent only about 5% of all donations. So one can imagine how much scope is there that one can save the lives who are dying every year, or every minute. I can say 1 person we are losing. There is a need of about 1.5 to 2 lakh kidneys transplants a year, while only about 8 to 10,000 transplants happen. Also, as against 40 to 50,000 liver transplants required a year, about only 1,700 and 1,800 happens each year. About 2 lakh hearts required And against that, only 3,500 happens every year. And we have seen recently the Kannada famous actor, Mr. Puneet Rajkumar, who died, unfortunately. He has gifted his eyesight. And for the first time in Bangalore, the doctors as Narayana Netralaya, who collected the late actor's corneas, they sliced the corneas and transplanted them in 4 corneal blind patients. So earlier, generally, one person can remove the blindness of 2 persons. But now with the latest technology, even 4 persons can be get the light and they can see because their blindness can go by only 1 person's, even in natural death. Factors such as lack of awareness about brain death, religious beliefs, and inadequate transplantation centers affect the country's organ donation program. In 2019, as per RTI, 19% recipients were women. Very, very unfortunate in India. One side, we consider them as a goddess. One side, we give full respect. And we have seen in our COVID time how we have been saved by them, all the women folk. But the recipients are only 19%, while 84% donors in India are women. One can imagine how much men chauvinism still exists in India. Now, to discuss this very, very important topic, very relevant topic of organ donation in India, we have a very elite, those who are authority or those who are close to authorities, panelists are with us. I would like to invite my first panelist guest. He is Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS. And I would like to inform to our viewers, in this media conference, our aim is to come out with some positive suggestions so that those suggestions can reach to the government, and the government, if they think that these suggestions are really good, they can implement. And it has happened earlier in many of our shows where Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, were present. He took the note of those suggestions, and those suggestions he has passed to the government, and the government has taken action, kind enough to take action, like One Nation, One Ration Card, international broadcasters, etc., etc. So we think, and our hope is that today, after in this program also, we will try to evaluate, give some positive suggestions how to save more and more lives with some participation from the government and some directions from the government. So let's start our program by, I would like to introduce Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS. I welcome him in my show. Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, is one-man expert commission on labor to prepare an action plan for the welfare and development of the workforce in the context of COVID-19. He is also the principal advisor, National Heritage Project. He was former head of disaster management, Government of India, and Central Draft Relief Commissioner, Government of India. He was the Vice Chancellor of National Museum, University of Delhi. To his credit, 300 publications, including 45 books in English, Malayalam, and Hindi, novels, short stories, and essays. 4 of his books have become bestsellers. One book of his on housing received prestigious the Sharjah International Book Fair Award. Dr. Bose is an housing expert, innovator, writer, orator, and visionary. The path-breaking institutions set up by him, such as Narmiti Kendra, Building Center, District Tourism Council, and Habitat Alliance, have been replicated at the state, national, and global level. He was the head of the prestigious Supreme Court Committee on the Treasures of Sri Padma Swami Temple. Dr. Bose had a divine mission of coordinating the design and construction of the Sanctum Sanctorum of 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 Temple. Dr. Bose addressed United Nations General Assembly and specialized sessions 5 times on various international issues. Dr. Bose is a recipient of 31 national and international awards, including United Nations Global Best Practice Award. He also received prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru Fellowship. Kerala government termed him Lord of Ideas. Former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh called him inspired civil servant, and our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi called him man of ideas. Welcome, Dr. 𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒, IAS, on our show. Dr. Bose, you have heard the report which I read, and the problem in India is that this particular field, we are lacking behind. If I will say so, almost on the bottom in the world. While we are known as very compassionate, very persons who are very family persons, but in spite of that, and we are also very generous for donations, but this organ donation thing, organ transplant thing is lacking. So we would like to know your views, Dr. 𝐂𝐑 Bose, about the organ donation in India. Dr. 𝐂𝐑 Bose, IAS, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. I'm particularly happy that Mr. Goel is head of the Organ Donation Foundation of India. Therefore, this meeting, this conversational dialogue has got a special significance and authority behind it. We have chosen the Scouts Day to discuss this vital issue. This is a time when more than 1 million people in India are scouting around for organs. As you yourself has put it, we have only 0.65 organ donations per million population. There are a lot of misgivings about the concept of organ donation. There are legal loopholes are there. There are also societal misunderstanding about the whole thing. Lack of infrastructure is there, lack of trained doctors, and doesn't bring credit to anyone down the line that in this country, you have hardly 300 hospitals which are equipped for organ retrieval. So this is the rather sad scene which we face when we discuss this vital issue of organ donation. The importance of organ donation is something which the younger generation particularly has to be made aware of. I remember a story which has got a message in it. There was a young boy whose mother had only one eye. She would work as a domestic servant and earn enough money to feed the child. The child is in school. When she comes with food, the other children will tease him, the son of a one-eyed mother. The child got very humiliated. He developed a kind of aversion to his mother. It's because of her one eye that I am being ridiculed by my peer group. So he hated her. He grew up, he got married, he had children. He took a house in the city and avoided his mother completely because of the one eye issue. Once he saw an old woman in front of his house playing with his children. He saw that is his one-eyed old mother. He shouted at her, "Are you not giving me peace even in my own house?" She drew her away. Now scene 2. This young man, he goes to attend the Old Boys Association of his school. On his return, he came in front of the house of his mother. The neighbor stopped his car and said, "Your mother is no more. Before she died, she gave this letter to me to be handed over to you." He read the letter which the mother had written to him. It read, "My dear son, I love you. I love your children. I love your wife. God bless you." You know, when you are a boy, you met with a car accident. You lost one eye. When others started calling you one-eyed boy, my mother's mind could not bear it. So I donated my eye. That is how your mother became one-eyed. And it touches the heart. Human relations are to be built on kindness and compassion. If, as Mr. Goel has rightly pointed out, you can save 8 lives and even more because of the technology advancement. It is something which you have to think very deeply. Are we not shirking our responsibility to humanity if we refuse to donate our organs? Of course, there are various constraints for this. There are superstitions which are built around this. Some people even feel, if I donate a heart or if I donate an eye, I may be born without an eye in my next generation, in my next rebirth. These are all superstitions which can be dispelled by orchestrated campaign. People have to be made aware of the importance of organ donation. If your heart, your lungs, your liver, your kidney, your brain, your tissues, your pancreas, your cornea, your intestine, if we can save anybody by donating this, I think it's a responsibility on any enlightened citizen to do that. Whatever constraints are there should all be dispelled. The legal authority has to be strengthened. If there are loopholes in the legislation, new legislation has to be brought in. In fact, if serious things can be said in a lighter way, I'm told during the days of the Arab-Israel conflict, a lot of stories used to be circulated to belittle the other side. One was this: there is a rich Arab who had the need for blood. Somebody had to donate blood. A generous Israelite, a generous Jew, he came forward to help the Arab. No, nothing stood in the way, whether he's an Arab or a Jew. The Jew came forward and donated blood. The Arab became healthy and came back to life. The Arab was very generous. He gave a Benz car and a check of $1 million to the Jew who donated blood on time. The Jew was also very happy, though he did not expect anything. After a few years, this Arab again needed blood. The same Jew gave him blood. In return, what the Arab gave was only a packet of dates and some cashew nuts. The Jew told somebody, see, first he gave me a Benz car and a check of $1 million. He was so generous. How came now? He has become very stingy and miserly. The doctor said, at the first instance, when you donated blood, he had Arab blood in him. After that, he has Jewish blood in him. That is why he has become miserly. Jokes apart and humor apart, there is a telltale evidence in this. In fact, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion, or language, or cultural variations, if you think as a human being, you have the right to save 8 lives, even more than that. If that case, you will be failing in your duties if you do not realize the importance of organ donation. The misgivings that are built around this has to be dispelled. That is what the Organ Donation Foundation of India, under Mr. Goel and others who are participating in this debate or discussion, are doing. There is need for a momentous effort and a national campaign to create awareness in society about the need for organ donation. The new generation has to be brought to line. In fact, in the education institutions, the school curriculum, the importance of organ donation has to be built in. Our infrastructure has to be improved. From 300 hospitals, we should have thousands of hospitals in the country, at least one in each district, which is equipped for organ retrieval. I think this debate will bring forth a lot of suggestions, which will certainly go for the consideration of the powers that be. And let us hope that a kind of changes will come about in government policies and programs, and also in the attitude of the public. That is very important. The attitudinal change, which should be there in public, that is the most important thing. My humble request is that this kind of discussions on creating awareness on organ donation has to continue at various levels. Social dialogue should be there so that we bring together the new generation to feel proud of organ donors. Of course, there are the constraints that are standing in the way. There are some lack of clarity is there about deceased donors and living donors. There is also the concept of organ commerce, which has to be discouraged. But there is also the reverse, where some people discourage organ donation as a neo-cannibalism. I think we have to shift the chaff from the grain, and this noble concept should certainly get its importance right from the school days, and India should emerge as a country which promotes organ donation as a big mission of life. Thank you, Mr. Goel.
Thank you very much, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, for giving your views, and thanks for that you are open to accept those suggestions which we are going to give, and our panelists will give during this media conference, and you will carry forward them to the higher ups, so that at least we will get some relief. After all, it's such a misery. Even in COVID, in last 2 years, we have not lost, we have touched about approximately 5 lakhs. But here, one can imagine 5 lakhs every year. That is also a official data from Noto, and Noto also mentioned somewhere that it's not the complete data because few of the states are not coming in front and giving proper data. So one can imagine that this is something which is far more deadly than even the COVID. But we are not taking it seriously, or we do not want to change our mindset. As rightly Dr. 𝐂𝐶𝐑 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒 says, we have to change the attitude. And until as the attitude is not changed, it is we means the civil society has to change the attitude. If we will change our attitude, then definitely we can save those lives. Thank you very much, Dr. 𝐂𝐶𝐑 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Dr. Girish Trivedi. Dr. Girish Trivedi is the counselor for organ donation of Rotary District 3141, Mumbai. He is the founder, trustee, AIDS Combat International, an NGO working round the clock for supporting people in need of medical assistance. He believes that awareness and motivations are the key factors to increase the number of eye and skin donation. He has inoculated 1978 eyeballs. The eye donation calls have slowed down in the last 2 years due to COVID pandemic. In spite of COVID restrictions, he has managed to coordinate for 54 eyeball enucleations, that is 27 eye donation calls. Welcome, Dr. Girish Trivedi, on our show. Dr. Girish Trivedi, you have heard the report which I presented in the first phase, and then views of Dr. 𝐶𝐑 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒, IAS. And you are performing yourself and retrieving the corneas and giving sight to the many of the people. It's a very, very noble work you are doing. And you are also being the counselor for a Rotary District 3141 for the organ donation. We would like to know your views, the challenges which you are facing, or everyone is facing, and even if you want to give in this segment or in the next segment, we will take up the suggestions. But what are your views about the organ donation in India? Dr. Girish Trivedi, please.
Good morning, all of you. As Dr. Bose rightly told, that the demand is on the higher side and the supply is very less. So we as individuals, we have a very important role to play. Like first of all, there are centers. There are only 3,000 centers who retrieve the organs. So that is one number we have to keep motivating all the people, the government authorities, that we should increase the number. If we talk about Mumbai, in a city like Mumbai, there are hardly 25 to 30 hospitals who do the retrieval. So this is a challenge which all of us have to take up in a very serious way, because first of all, there are very few donors. And then if we have lack of infrastructure, then the challenge again is very big. So we have to create a lot of awareness. One good news I would like to share, that in Ahmedabad, there is a civil hospital, and last week, before 7 days, there were 3 organ donations in 24 hours. So that happened due to a lot of awareness. You have to keep on creating awareness. You have to talk to the masses. You have to talk to all the sectors of the society. And if we have lost 5 lakhs of people to COVID, that was only due to COVID. But every year we are losing 5 lakhs of people who are not getting organs in time. The family are losing young people, and the waiting list goes on increasing. So we as individuals, we all have a very important role to play. Create massive awareness, make the people sensitive about all the donations. Now I will simply explain you in a very simple way, that when a person is alive, he can do certain donations like blood donation, platelet donation. He can donate 1 kidney to his family member. He can donate part of the liver. These are all live donations. And after death, once the person is declared dead by the family physician, there are 2 donations which are possible and which are very easy: eye donation and skin donation. You have to just motivate the family and then you have to contact the nearest eye bank, nearest skin bank, and all this, both these donations can be done within 6 hours of death. So these are very simple donation. Our role is to create awareness and motivate the family. When there is a death in our society, in our friend circle, in our family, we should see to it that the eye donation happens, the skin donation happens. We should not miss out eye donation and skin donation calls. So these are very simple donations that doctors will go to the patient's home, or if the person dies in the hospital, they will go to the hospital and do the needful. And again, the requirement for cornea in a city like Mumbai, it is 40,000 corneas per year. We hardly get 2,000 corneas because this is lack of awareness. When we talk about skin donation, the requirement is 2,000 skin donations per year. And what we get is hardly 150 donations. So in this COVID pandemic, it is becoming more challenging. It is becoming more difficult. Creating awareness, motivating the people, and you should motivate youngsters, because many times when the death occurs, the family is in a state of shock and all. They lose a very young person. A young boy or a young girl can stand up and tell the family to donate eyes and skin. So creating awareness right from school to all the sectors of the society, as Dr. Bose rightly told, is the need of the hour. When we talk about organ donation, it's a big challenge. We are at the bottom of the map when it comes to organ donation. Croatia, Spain, they have the percentage on the higher side. So we have to create more and more awareness, create more centers, remove the misbeliefs prevailing in the mind of the people. And as you know, if the family member's organ doesn't match with the recipient, it becomes very miserable. They have to wait for years. In a city like Mumbai, the waiting period for a kidney transplant is almost 5 years, 5 to 6 years. So it becomes very difficult to undergo dialysis. The economy side is also very important. People suffer a lot. And organ donation is a challenging thing. As Dr. Goel told, there are a lot of people dying due to road accidents. A lot of people suffer stroke. So we have to sensitize the doctors who are working in the ICUs, intensivists. We have to sensitize those group of doctors, because those are the people who will declare the person brain dead. And then the biggest challenge is to motivate the family for donation. In southern part of India, there is a team of grief counselor. Their role is only to counsel the family to do the donation. So once the person is declared brain dead, then the most challenging part begins to motivate the family to donate the organs, because they have a lot of sentiments and all, and to tell them that one organ donation will save 8 lives. To convince the family, the role of the transplant coordinator is also very important. So we have to explain all these things to the family who is in the need of organ. And as I told you, organ donation awareness, eye donation awareness, skin donation awareness amongst medical community is very important. We have to sensitize the doctors, because a family doctor will play a very important role in eye and skin donation. Because if the family doctor can tell the family to donate, they will do it easily. So we have to create more and more awareness amongst the medical communities, amongst the youngsters. And this is how we can increase the number of donations, help out people who are in need of organ. A small country like Sri Lanka, they export corneas to other part of the world. So in India also, we can do a lot of things on eye donation, skin donation, and organ donation. This is what I would suggest. And my main thing is to create awareness on continuous basis.
Thank you, Dr. Trivedi, for your views. I will come back to you once this round is over. As Dr. Trivedi has mentioned very clearly, he says that awareness is required. And he has mentioned the awareness is required for the youth, for the doctors. And I would like to inform that, yes, awareness is being created. Like I am doing online now because of the COVID restrictions online with the colleges. I am doing with the students. Asking them, giving details about the organ donation, asking them to ask the questions, etc. But still miles to go. But we have to understand the basic difference. I will give some figures. In United States, these figures of 2019, because then the years we have lost in the COVID, so we cannot compare the COVID time. 2019, about 7,000 people lost their lives in United States of America, and 400 people lost their lives in UK. Now, and in India, about 5 lakhs. Now, the question which anyone can say, UK is 1/20th of India, very small, yes, but multiply 20 with 400, it works out to be 8,000. 8,000 people lost their life for the size of a country like India in comparison to 5 lakhs. And in USA, which is also less of the country, about 1/6, they lost 7,000 lives. The question is why? What is the basic difference? After all, we are also humans, they are also humans. Why? What is the basic difference? The difference is there are 3 types of organ donations prevailing in the world. One is voluntary organ donation, another is opt-in, and third is opt-out system. I will just brief what is voluntary. Now, voluntary is like in India, that if I wish to pledge to donate my organs and tissue after my death, if it's a brain death, then organs and tissues can be taken. If it's a normal death, then only the tissues can be taken. I fill up the form. I will get a card from the noto. But suppose I will die natural death or a brain death, the decision lies not with me, but with my family. And this is why the family members, and everybody knows that that is a time when everybody is in a grief. So they would not like to donate. Many of them, rather I will say almost everyone, they says no, we would not. And that's why our record is very poor. Only 5% diseased donation is there in India out of 100. Now, question is why? What are the systems others? In USA, it's an opt-in system. Now, opt-in system is that if I'm a US citizen, if I will fill up the form and I registered myself as a donor, then unless I will not revoke this my consent in my lifetime, it will be like a will in India. Here in India, if I will my properties, that will be having a legal sanctity. But if I am willing my own organs, which belongs to me only, the money, the properties can be inherited also. But here, the law is not there to protect my own wishes. While in USA, once I have pledged as a US citizen, then after my brain death or normal death, the organs or the tissues belongs to the state or government, and the government will just inform the relatives and they will take the organs and this thing. While in UK or Europe, the system is a opt-out system. What is that? The opt-out system is when anyone become adult, that is 18 years old, he has to opt out that I would not like to donate. Otherwise, it is deemed that the organs or the tissues belong to the government or the state. And that's why we have seen the Europeans data, which shows that so many people have donated, and that's why the mortality is very, very less. So my first thing, which the government should take seriously, is to consider that whether this volunteer, because awareness, many foundations, many government organizations are creating awareness, but this will not fulfill the need. As Dr. Trivedi says, 5 lakhs people are waiting there for kidney transplant, and how many are not getting it? Not 5 lakhs. I think the data is not correct. 2 lakhs in India total, out of which about 10,000 or so. So my point is, if government will take consideration of the US organ donation laws, take consideration of UK or European. UK has started from 20th May 2020, this law implemented. Otherwise, European was already having. And see to it whether we should go for opt-out system. And the opt-out, the only thing is, if suppose I have opt-out, I say, no, I will not donate organs. No problem. I will not donate. But in case if I require organs, I will be on the bottom of the wait list. first preference will be given who has already who has not opt out. So in India, if we will implement this opt out system, there are some hitches, there are some resistance from some section of society, but I think still, if we will be saving one extra life or many lives, we will be saving many lives by this system. So this is my first suggestion, which I would like to forward to the government of India through our Dr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. Please ask the government or the expert and take the stakeholders' opinion, experts' opinions, whether it's a IMA, whether the foundations, many good league NGOs who are working day and night for this, and then this thing can be suggested. Further, I would like to give more, but I can see that Dr. Vasudevan is joining us. Dr. Vasudevan, are you there? Please switch on your video if you are there. Yes, Dr. Vasudevan, I know that you are in surgery. You mentioned, send a message. Can you just turn your mobile in a horizontal position? Is it possible for you? Dr. Vasudevan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Your network is weak, Dr. Vasudevan. Dr. Vasudevan?
Okay.
Your net.
Here.
No, it's not clear what you are talking. Can you just change the network? Because yeah, please speak now. No, I think network is a problem, Dr. Vasudevan. If you just change your network or shift to some other place where the network is strong, because we would like to hear from you your views about the organ donation in India. Okay. We will wait for some time. Once the Dr. Vasudevan, we will have a clarity thing. Now, before I will move to Dr. Bose, because I want that we should discuss so Dr. Bose can note our things, then we will take his concluding remark from Dr. Bose. I would like to go to Dr. Yes, Dr. Vasudevan, are you there now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here. Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better.
Is it better now?
Yes, Dr. Vasudevan.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Vasudevan,
Yes.
we were discussing about the organ donation in India. We already have two, three sessions with you earlier with IMA. So I would like to invite and introduce Dr. S. Vasudevan. Professor Dr. S. Vasudevan is the chairman of Indian Medical Association IMA Standing Committee for Organ Donation. He is the professor and head of the department Urology, Government Medical College, Thiruvananthapuram. He is a member of Kidney Transplantation Subspecialty Cell of the Urological Society of India. He started his urology career at Government Medical College, Calicut, and has spent over 30 years in the specialty. His concern for the renal failure patients and the difficulty faced by the family in arranging donor in time led to efforts at organ donation awareness campaigns. IMA provided a perfect platform and many opportunities opened up. He became the chairman of the Organ Donation Awareness Committee in Kerala State Branch of IMA. Later, the IMA National Headquarters provided the IMA Standing Committee for Organ Donation. He has been awarded the Inspiring Urologist Award by Economic Times Group on the occasion of Doctors' Day 2021 for his contributions in kidney transplantation. Recently, he was included in a coffee table book brought out by the Times of India Group. Welcome, Dr. S. Vasudevan, on our show. Professor Vasudevan, we were discussing about the conditions of organ donation in India. And Dr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 IAS is with us. And because he is a one-man expert commission, he is submitting his interim report very frequently to the government of India. I think we have lost Dr. Vasudevan once again. Dr. Vasudevan, you are not there. Okay, once you will join, because we understand that there's some network issue. So my question, my thing is to Dr. Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi, as I mentioned about these three donation types, volunteer, opt-in, and opt-out system, I would like to know your views, because in like you are in eyes thing, specialty, you can see so many deaths are occurring, natural deaths. If those deaths, if they will be able to get the eye cornea, no blindness will be there in India. What are your views, Dr. Trivedi?
Actually, this is a very good policy, and we should keep on stressing this point that we have to go in for this opt-in system. Like in Western countries, a lot of donations happen because they have gone for this system. Here, there are many hitches coming in the way. So, somebody has to take the initiative, and then if we go for this, the number of donations will definitely increase.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Vasudevan, are you there now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so Dr. Vasudevan, we would like to know your views about organ donation in India.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lal Goel, for including me in today's discussion also. We have done this. And as you said, actually, no amount of meetings, discussions are enough for this topic because there's a lot more always to be said. This has to be a great social movement for it to be successful. The basic principle is every organ failure patient should receive, who has been put on the list for organ transplantation, they should always get an organ in time, because when you don't get it in time, it is not useful for them. Many patients die off while on dialysis. Many patients on with liver failure may not get an organ in time and may die off. Even in cardiac failure, sometimes if you don't get it in time, a heart in time, patients die off. So ultimately, we are here concentrating on this aspect, whereby we have a big class who have been represented by our chief guest today, Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. He represents a big segment of the organ. He would actually get a big segment of the organized as well as unorganized labor class in India to get benefit from this movement. We know that many a time there is a big a fault found that organ transplantation programs always favor the rich, whereby the poor people are the donors for rich people. We should always try to correct that impression. We should also try to correct the impression that it is always the ladies who donate for the men. So when we have a big labor class for whom this program is to be, again, it should benefit this big program, we should understand that there should be a program whereby donors are available more in number, and this should, of course, benefit all who need the program. Again, we should also make sure that the government brings in programs whereby a lot of cost is taken care of by these programs. So nobody should miss this just because they don't have enough finance for that. We should make sure that these programs. So ultimately, I would request Mr. Anand Bose, sir, to make sure that there is a big allocation for these programs in the coming years. There should also be a big push for this program in ESI Corporation medical programs, so that we should also ensure that more medical colleges as well as hospitals who have good infrastructure take up these transplantation programs in a big way, so that the number of centers available to take up these programs are increased to a good number. We have always discussed earlier that there are about 465 medical colleges in India. Of them, only maybe around 50 to 100 are doing transplantation now. We should make sure that all these centers take up this program. Also, there are a lot of district hospitals which have the required grade. We should make sure that infrastructure is taken up in these, development of infrastructure is taken up in these institutions, so that this program can be taken up in these institutions also. Now, there is a big imbalance in that it is more done in private hospitals compared to the government sector. So we should make sure that a big push is given in government hospitals in the matter of manpower as well as infrastructure, so that we have more centers performing these programs. Also, there should be a continued program whereby the disease donor program should also be given more push. We are sure that in many states, this program is going well. But there are a lot of states where this program has not yet taken off, especially the Far East, Northeast, where a very few states have really joined this program. There are many big states where this program is not yet going in a big way. We know Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, but there is also a good thing in that recently Rajasthan has taken up this program in a good way. Also, this Andhra Pradesh, Telangana have taken up in a good way. So we should make sure that other states where this is lagging should also come up in this. So government should take a good initiative in that it should bring the role of IMA in this is that IMA can always bring many organizations together for this, whereby we can make sure that all these institutions come up and are represented in this program. So we should also make sure that IMA is included in all government committees also which deal with this, so that we can make sure that the voice of the profession is heard in a bigger way. We can also make sure that IMA's role in this is also in another way. We are sure that a lot of our own professionals are not really aware of the importance of this program. It is only when one of us gets this need for a transplantation that many of them waken up to this program. So in IMA, we are doing this program whereby we are making our own professionals aware of this need, so that in this, I should also remember my mentor in this area, Dr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐿, who passed away last year. He was responsible for forming this committee, standing committee at the national level. Though he was a physician and a cardiologist, his passion for organ donation was very high, and that he's provided me this platform. He always used to tell me this basic slogan, "Puchna mat bhulo," a simple slogan, but this means that anybody who is in an ICU and who is in the sort of process of being declared brain dead in the immediate future, that is, he's having a losing battle, they should always be, the relatives should be made aware of this, and there should be a question whereby they should be put and they should be asked for organ donation. So Puchna mat bhulo is a single slogan which he coined and which we made, which spread across IMA at this level. So these are some of the points I need to highlight, and I need the cooperation of our chief guest today, Mr. Anand Bose, so that we could bring up more government help and cooperation in this area. Thank you for.
Thank you, Dr. Vasudevan. But you are there. You will be there because we have some more things to interact with you.
Sure.
Dr. Vasudevan, we were just discussing about the 3 types of donation: opt-in and opt-out and volunteer. In India, we have a volunteer, and that's why our figures are very dismal. While in UK and Europe, it is an opt-out system, that once a person become adult, he has to opt out, then only his organs will not be donated, but otherwise everyone's organs or tissues will be deemed property of the government or the state government. But do you think that if the government will come out with that thing, that why not make it an opt-out system in India, so at least those who are not interested to donate their organs, they can opt out. But in that case, if tomorrow they require, they will be in the bottom most of the wait list. It means impossible for them to get the thing. What do you say about that?
We have already set into motion discussions in this area. It is a sensitive subject because it involves personal freedom also. But we are sure that many countries like Spain, many of the European countries who have bought in this change have done very well. So it is a mindset, and once you have this, so we could also do it part by part. We could ask some states to, especially a small state like Delhi, they could put this program into effect. Let us see this area, or even a smaller area like a municipal corporation, where we could see whether this program is working successfully and slowly extend it to a larger area. This has already been debated in many of our professional bodies.
Yes, it is required, because anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Vasudevan. Now my thing, one more suggestion which I can give to Dr. Trivedi, your views on this, then I will come to Dr. Vasudevan. Dr. Trivedi, why there is no hotline, as you mentioned, the awareness. Today, the condition is many of the people wants to donate eye cornea or skin or organs, but they are not clear where to contact. See, organs, so at least the patient is in a hospital, so at least that is, but the natural death, there is no particular contact people where they have to contact. So don't you think the government should come forward and start either a state hotline or a national hotline, one number, and one has to dial that number and immediately somebody will approach and do the needful. What do you say about this, Dr. Trivedi? Please unmute. Dr. Trivedi, please unmute.
This is very important, because these hotline numbers, they should be available 24/7, and people should immediately receive a positive response from the eye bank or skin bank. And in a city like Mumbai also, we are facing this problem, that many a times the family is willing for the donations, but they are not able to contact the eye banks and skin banks in time. So these hotline numbers play a very important role. And again, once the family is ready for donation, then we should give 100% to coordinate with the eye banks and skin banks. So we should give a suggestions that every state should have a hotline number where all these donations can be made easily possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Vasudevan, are you there? Dr. Vasudevan? Dr. Vasudevan, are you there? Okay, I think he will join as soon as he will be there. So, Dr. Trivedi, one more suggestion is that if after all, after the brain death, a family decide to donate the organs. Now, but dear Dr. Vasudevan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Dr. Vasudevan, one more thing is that if a family, if it's a very grief time for a family, very difficult time at the time of a death of a near one. But if the family decide to donate the organs, if the patient is declared brain death or tissues, whatsoever the case is, don't you think the government should encourage or give them some thing so that it can be in the form of award? I'm not saying money wise, but award, recognize them, or give at least one of the closest kin a free or a concessional traveling thing to them, so that the more and more people will feel, okay, if our family member, they want the organ donation, we will donate, we will get this much advantages. Don't you think it will give some push in our organ donation awareness program and our organ donation itself? What do you say about this, Dr. Vasudevan?
Yeah, we have thought of many initiatives in this area. One of them is we should take care of the, if it is a live donation, we should make sure that the donor gets lifelong care from the institution. That is, they have many future illnesses which are likely to come. Especially some of them may later be candidates for renal problems. So they should be taken care of in that way. On the other hand, for deceased donors, we have been thinking of several initiatives, like some of them may not be in the, financially they may not be well off. So we could think of ways by which we could compensate them by giving a job to the family. Some of them could have travel concessions. Some of them could have educational concessions. Some of them could be even, some of them could be given some award so that the family has something to be proud of. And they could have something named after them. So there are many ways in which we could compensate them so that they are seen as icons by the general public. So there are many such suggestions which are being pursued. And we hope that another area which we are pursuing is, there is a lot of cost involved in transporting organs. So some of these transporting agencies, could give them some concessions instead of going by the usual fare, so that we have given the proposals in this to the government and as well as to the transporting agencies. So we hope some of this becomes successful.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Vasudevan. I will be coming back to you again. So now, Dr. Trivedi, you have heard Dr. Vasudevan, and he says that yes, we have to do. Anything you would like to add in this?
Actually, felicitation of the family is very important. The family who has donated the organs, they should be felicitated in public places, and that inspires other people to do the thing. Because this is more of like, if somebody is donating that, then it should be an inspiration for the rest of the community and rest of the people in the society. So this type of functions during organ donation day and all are very important. And there are several hospitals in Mumbai who do these programs. They call the recipient, they call the donor family, and it makes a huge impact. So this is one thing we should do it on regular basis.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Trivedi. Now my thing is, when like in COVID time, where we have seen that how the government has spent lots of money in advertisement, the caller tunes, etc. Now COVID, with God's grace and with all the things now is almost going. Why not similar type of things, initiative government should take, like caller tune or the advertisements, or otherwise they will allow the organizations, the foundations, the NGOs to put the advertisements on a very, very concessional or free charges, at least on the government medias, so that more and more awareness can be created. The problem today is, even if I want to put an ad in any of the newspaper, hardly any concession, or even 50%, the rate is so high that you cannot afford a NGO or any organization which is a voluntary organization. What do you think? Because this is something which is not only for a person or for NGO, it's for the entire country. And as we know, we have seen that it is more deadly than even COVID or any other disease. So what do you say, Dr. Vasudevan, are you there? Dr. Vasudevan? Okay. Dr. Trivedi, your views about this?
Yes, definitely government should take it into consideration, because the more and more it will come on the social media, it will create an impact. And there are a lot of NGOs who are willing to take up this. It is a very challenging subject. So government should also, from their side, they should come up with a lot of initiative, and they should support this cause.
Okay. And especially they can have a nodal agency like IMA or any other nodal agency where all, because I know many of the young people, youth, as you have mentioned, the youth, they are making even the short films on organ donation. They are doing creativity, everything, but they are not getting any support from the government or any other organizations. If we will try to create that type of fund where those who are promoting this type of things which are creating awareness, why not we encourage the youth? Because if one youth is aware about organ donation, it means the entire family of that youth is aware, their peers are aware. So one can reach, our reach can be far more than educating an adult, as Dr. Trivedi rightly said. What do you say?
Can I
Yes.
say a moment? Yeah.
Yes, that's
Actually in Kerala, we had an instance of one of the donors. He had donated kidney for his sister. His name was Girish Trivedi. Later on, he became a film director. So he did a 45-minute movie, a half-length movie. He had prepared an original script on that, and especially highlighting and it was fully picturized in Government Medical College, Trivandrum. And when this film was released, our health minister saw this in the premiere show, and it was very much appreciated. Later on, this was also put up for show in several places. It is called 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒. That movie was called 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒. Now we are trying to subtitle it and bring it on a national level. We are getting the national IMA to endorse this. And this actually highlighted the process of organ donation and what change it brought about to the family. This movie actually had got the appreciation of a lot of senior administrators of our state. And in that year, actually, IMA gave him a award for good work in organ donation awareness campaign. So there are several people who could do a similar work if appreciated. We also know another film director. He is called Rajesh Nair. There is a film institute in Pala called after one of our previous president, K.R. Narayanan. So Visual Institute. Once for a summer school, he did all these apprentices who came to study this. They said they will do film on organ donation. So he prepared several videos of 3-minute duration and submitted it to us. So there are several such initiatives which could do this. And some of them are really very sensitive movies. 3 minutes, they bring out that emotion very well. So these are initiatives which should be supported and brought about so that more and more people are attracted to this idea.
Dr. Vasudevan, you being the on the helm of IMA standing committee, will you support if such types of movies are coming? IMA will support, or Dr. Trivedi is in the Rotary. If you people will start supporting, I'm sure there are many, because I am getting so many calls of the youth and they says we want to bring this, how we will get some support, because they produce the movie, there is no problem there, they don't want anything, but to come out on a national level or state level is very, very difficult. What do you say, Dr. Trivedi, about this?
Yes, we should definitely encourage the young generation for producing these movies, and they should be shown to the masses. It should reach out to all the people, because the more and more the people will see it, they will know the importance about organ donation, and then they will know the importance of the people who are dying waiting for an organ. So we should come up with ideas where we can promote these films on a larger scale.
Okay. Dr. Trivedi, we have seen recently in media reports that in USA, one genetically modified pig heart was used and transplanted to a human being. And although still it is too early to know what will be the implications afterwards, but it clearly shows that the research in other countries are going day and night. But in India, unfortunately, we have no research. Don't you think the government of India should emphasize on the research in the leading medical colleges or wherever, or make a separate research centers only dedicated for organ and tissue donations, where they can do the research for artificial organs, which are now under research in USA also, because brains in doctors and the researchers are not lacking in India. They are doing abroad. The same Indians are doing abroad. Why not we provide them those facilities in India to do the research? And then, because if tomorrow, if we will be able to succeed, or anywhere in the world, we will be able to succeed any artificial organs, then definitely this problem can go. What do you say about this, Dr. Trivedi?
No, we should definitely encourage these research programs and all. And we should keep stressing to the government that they should implement this as soon as possible and in larger states. So it should make an impact, because in Western countries, they believe they spend a lot of money on the research programs and all, which unfortunately in our country is not happening. So this is one point we should take it seriously.
Yes. And here also what we see in India, when we talk about organ donation, there are few of the religious barriers one has to cross. Why not? There should be an awareness program with the religious leaders of all caste and creeds, all religions. Call them on a platform, discuss with them, explain to them, because not a single religious book has mentioned, or the religion has given any contradictory thing about the organ donation. Rather, in Hinduism, we know that Maharishi Dadiji has donated his bones at that time to save the human kind. So why not we call all the religions heads, like from Hindus or Muslims or Christians or Jains and Sikhs or so forth, and explain to them that this is something which is a supreme donation. See, today we can donate money we go to the temple or mosque. Do you agree with this, that the religious leaders should be also make a part of this type of movement? Then only we will be able to convince more and more people, because then their discourse, if they will be explaining, then only this is possible. What you say about this, Dr. Trivedi?
Yes, 100%. Because if the religious gurus, they at least they talk once or twice during their when they are talking to the masses, it can make a big impact, because people, they will believe in what their religious gurus speak. So they should stress, they should give more importance to organ donation. They should keep on motivating the people about donating organs, eye donation, skin donation, and all. So they have a very important role to play, and it is for all the communities. All the community religious leaders can play a very important role.
And right now, because see, there is a myth, very big myth is about the age. And I would like to inform our viewers, the age is not a barrier at all, because the youngest organ donor in the world is Hope Lee of Newmarket, UK, who donated her kidney, who means the family donated her kidneys and liver cells just 74 minutes after she was born on 24th November 2015. One can imagine a 74 minutes old child can donate. And we always say, no, it's too young or too old. And the oldest which is available is a figure that that oldest known organ donor was 95 years old in USA. Only thing is your organ should be healthy. Now, I would like to know from Dr. Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi, you are dealing with the eyes, and what challenges you are facing? Because I am getting calls in the night from remote places in UP and other places. They says, where should we donate our eye? Because there is a time limit that you have to take out those eyes. And in the night, the government hospitals are, and no one is responsible to give reply. Plus, what are the things, because there is a myth that they will take in a very bad shape, they will take out the entire eye, whatnot. We would like to know from you how you can remove those myths and you give the factual things about the eye donation.
See, first of all, eye bank is important. If suppose we are talking about Uttar Pradesh, then there should be a eye bank available either in one of the major cities and all. And then there should be trained technicians. If doctors are not available, then trained technician can do the needful. And they should be able to explain the family that this is a very simple thing. It will hardly take 15 minutes to remove the eyeballs. And now with the latest technique, we only remove the cornea. So all these things should be explained to the family members. So there should be a lot of eye collection centers and skin collection centers which should be available in all the parts of the state. And if the eye bank is suppose 6 hours away from the family's place, then also it is possible. But there should be trained technicians and trained doctors who can do the needful. And all the kits and all should be available at that place. So collection centers are very important. So if these things are made available to the public, that we have collection teams available, we have collection centers available, and then if you are willing to donate, we will send all the things to the eye bank and skin bank in time. So this thing should be given more importance about the collection centers and trained technicians and trained doctors.
And Dr. Trivedi, one more thing which is always there, that we are lacking in the counselors are not available many times. And if any natural death or a brain death, okay, hospitals, they call the counselors from government hospitals or wherever, they have the inbuilt also. But a natural death, the counselor's role is very, very important to counsel. I have seen the cases when I got a call from the son of the deceased. He says that I would like to donate the eyes. Where shall I contact? I get everything organized. Okay, that person. But till at that time, some of the family member came and they says, no, we will not donate the eyes. Now, the question is, if the counselor reaches on time, try to convince them, because counseling on phone is not that easy. But if you go in person, don't you think in every city we should have more and more counselors, like volunteers who can do work as a counselors, especially for eyes and skin, which you are talking? Do you think it will make a very big difference, especially in these two fields?
So that's why we if there are trained youngsters, volunteers, they can talk to the family who is in a denial mode. Suppose the family is not willing for eye donation, they can explain it in a very simple way that if you are not donating eyes and skin, it will get burnt. But if you are donating eyes, it will give sight to 4 corneally blind people. The skin donation will help to treat burns patient who have sustained more than 50% of burns. So this volunteers should be available in time, and that's why the family members should know every aspect of eye donation and skin donation. They should know that how easy it is and why should we donate, what is the importance. So youngsters can be made volunteers, they can counsel also. And if you don't get the counselor at that point of time, the youngsters or the family members, if they are knowing about the things, they can easily do the donation. And one more thing, that if one of the family member is also against the donation, that donation will not happen. All the family member have to give the consent. So that is very important. So we have to keep on creating awareness and motivating the people.
Dr. Trivedi, you are associated with Rotary district. Now, how you are creating the awareness on that level? Only talking to your members, or you are also organizing the camps, etc., or keeping some open forum discussions, or in the colleges or youth? How you are as you are mentioning about youth, and that is very, very important point, that we have to target, or we have to create awareness among the youth. How the Rotary district of yours in Mumbai is creating this awareness?
Now this Rotary District 3141, we are creating awareness in colleges, we are creating awareness in school, public places. We have even started creating awareness in religious places where there is a huge outflow of people. So, and then to all the workers like telephone exchanges, bus depots, where you get a lot of people coming. So it is not only to small groups of people. This awareness should go to masses, to all the sectors of the society. Then only it will make a big impact. And the more and more people, and we always tell the person that if he is willing to donate eyes and skin after death, or organ donation if he is declared brain dead, then he should sit with the family, explain the family all the donations. Because after all, once the person dies, the family will be taking the call of the donations. So the family has to know about all the things. So one simple thing we tell the family person, that they should keep a small write-up in the room or in the hall, that if I die a natural death, I am declared dead by the family physician, donate my eyes and skin. If I am declared brain dead, I am on the ventilator, I am in the ICU, then you donate all my organs. So it can be helpful to somebody.
That is a good suggestion. One more suggestion for the doctors, which I always give. Why not put some sticker in your consultation chamber always for organ donation, some good message, so that advantage is, because you are the persons whom when people have faith, and if they see, their subconscious, the organ donation is there. Now I can see Dr. Vasudevan. Dr. Vasudevan, we have seen in the kidney, especially in kidney, and that is your specialty, the dialysis patients which are going on. The problem in India is that even family members are not at all coming forward to donate their kidneys. Either they say he's quite young, the boy is young, if the recipient is father, or what is the use, and he's fatty, or the kidney is not matching. So what in that case one should do? What is your suggestion for that?
Now, actually, the fact that your description of a donor being non-ideal, actually that does not exist now, because for every donor, we could find an appropriate recipient. We know of people who are ideal donors. we also know people who could be extended donors. So extended donors will be useful for people who may not live for a long, we don't expect them to live for a longer period. That is a recipient, or for another person who has got a lot of comorbidities. Here the idea would be they may not live for a long life, but we could add some critical 2 or 3 years to their life, which will make a big difference to the family. You said in the meantime, the recipient could probably marry off a daughter. He could see that the succession line or somebody else is capable of taking up this responsibility of carrying forward this family. So there are several milestones which would happen in this small extended life. So every donor is important. There is no idea that even now we pick up patients who have hepatitis, some patients who have other comorbidities. So even those with appropriate antivirals, we could use them. Again, you talked about the life of the transplantation services during COVID time. There was a time when the whole world was under the pandemic where all services were stopped. Still, some disease donations took place in certain cases where the caseload was not very high. In Kerala, we had several such donations happening in the month of April and May in 2020, because at that time, our caseload was not very high. But slowly, as the several waves came, we learned to combat with that. And now during this third wave, we give only a small period after the recovery of either the donor or the recipient for the cases to be resumed. So we have learned to combat with life in this period so that the patients could already have, who already have been waiting for a long period, don't go through a very long waiting period during this time. Again, regarding your comment regarding this, how to make people aware, there are several places in the hospital where people aggregate, like in the before the consulting rooms or before in the ICUs. So we need to have messages as well as subtle videos which give this message in a very soft way without really pushing through. So when an opportunity comes, these people may react in a very positive way. Also, any patient in the ICU, we should have these counselors to act with them. They establish a relationship first by conveying them the news, how this patient is faring. If it is a patient is faring well, I always have a good message to give. If the patient is not doing badly, then we always have to tell them that along with the way, this patient is not likely to survive in spite of the best medical efforts. And slowly there is an opportunity to push forward the message of organ donation. So there should be a long period of engagement before a positive result is obtained.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Vasudevan. In the last, one suggestion which you feel the government should take on priority, one suggestion only from you, which the government should take on priority.
We need to focus on creating better infrastructure across the country so that this level, of course, this level needs a very good ICU. It needs very much trained manpower in the form of doctors, of nursing personnel, etc. So we need to give them a good push. And this government is really doing some of them, but it is not reaching everywhere. We need to see that there needs to be follow-up action. Even our Prime Minister has mentioned in many of his Mann Ki Baat addresses about the importance of organ donation. So this message, this initiative is there from the highest level. We should see that at all levels this is taken up with equal priority.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Vasudevan. One suggestion, Dr. Trivedi, which you think that it should be taken up by the government at the earliest.
Creating awareness amongst the medical community. I think that is the biggest need of the hour, because these are the people who will make organ donations happen. And so we should create whatever ideas we can implement to sensitize the doctors who are working in the ICUs and all, because they have a very important role.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So viewers, we have seen today the experts gave their opinion about the organ donation in India. And it's really, it's very pathetic condition, but who are responsible? We, the civil society is responsible. Why we want that government should do everything? Government has given us a long rope. They say that it's a voluntary. They do not want to enforce anything. But we should take the advantage. We should try to come forward. We must come forward. We must tell everyone in our family that this is something which is very important, because today you don't know, tomorrow you require the organ donation, and when you require organ, if other party says no, sorry, I'm not interested, what will be your future? Or you will be in wait list for 5 years. You will not survive. So it is our own, for our own sake, for our own children, our own family, we must register ourselves as early as possible as an organ and tissue donor, and see to it that even after our death, brain death or natural death, we must give the tissues or organs. We should not try to create any hindrance for our own relatives, because if you try to stop, tomorrow other will also try to stop. Don't do this. Listen to your own conscience, what you are giving. This donation is a supreme donation. You will not get peace. You may not get money from anything, but here, what you are going to get, what your family is going to get, they will never get, because of you, 8 people are alive. What else? As I started my program saying, we are not God, but God has given us a power to save up to 8 lives and improvise 75 lives. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor to bring to you every day new topic in media conference with Lal Goel. Tomorrow is being the Wednesday. We are going to have the media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 am, Democratic Reform Series. Under that, the police reforms in India. And our panelists are Miss Aruna Bahuguna, IPS, former director, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy, Hyderabad. Mr. M. Harisen Verma, IPS, former Special Director, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒, social activist and Supreme Court lawyer, Agra. And Dr. Naveen Gupta, Director, Hindustan Institute of Management and Computer Studies, HIMCS, Sharda Group of Institutions, Mathura. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 am. Thank you very much, Dr. S. Vasudevan. And thank you very much, Ms. Dr. Girish Trivedi. And thank you very much, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose. And I'm sure that today's suggestions will definitely reach to the government, and few of them, whichever the government feel fit, even if they will approve 1 or 2 suggestions, that will be something starting, and we may go miles in future also. And we will try to keep these types of program even now and then, with the help of IMA and Rotary clubs and many other social groups who are doing their work day and night for